Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. Today we'll be going over Alexa, a Pandora box of risks. First, we'll go over our recommendation, and then we'll dive into some key issues that we found in the case, followed by an analyzation of our internal and external environment, finally going over a few of our strategic alternatives, and then ending with a conclusion and summary. We really found that Amazon's biggest challenge is that they're navigating a fine line between collecting and using consumer data for technological improvements and personalization versus keeping consumer data safe and protected. This really led us to our decision problem of what changes can Amazon implement to make customers feel more secure while also being able to gather large amounts of consumer data legally. We'll measure the success of Amazon through their sales and revenues of Alexa, as well as their increased market share in the digital voice assistant industry. This being said, we recommend that Amazon increases their transparency with their customer as well as add additional security features in order to encourage consumer acceptance of Alexa and to preclude any regulatory actions. Different of the five key The first issue involves users' data privacy and security. According to an article in the Wirecutter, Alexa collects information on how users interact with it from what they say and what their requests are. Amazon uses this information from Alexa to improve its artificial intelligence interface. And by doing this, Amazon is able to create a more custom experience for each user by marketing products and services that the user may prefer. While Alexa provides a means for Amazon to collect user data, issues have risen when recordings and data are collected not just on internet activities and shopping preferences, but also when users interact online. Revelations of various audio recording incidents without a wake command, in other words, a quote unquote waking up Alexa command, have fueled concerns over Alexa privacy and security. According to page 9 on the case, Alexa has been known to capture not only a user's browsing history, but also conversations among family members and a history log of phone calls to contacts in the registry who have had an Echo device. Additionally, thousands of Amazon employees around the world have listened to voice recordings captured by Alexa, with employees reportedly reviewing as many as 1,000 audio clips per 9-hour shift. This raises concerns as to whether or not users' privacy is being considered when their data is being used for other purposes that they may not know of. Because Alexa devices have access to so much data, it makes users vulnerable to attack. Alexa's ability to listen, record, and transmit data, coupled with its access to a wealth of personal information, makes it a prime target for hackers. This personal information can include stored shopping trips, individuals' daily schedules, and financial information. Additionally, Alexa has been seeing an increase of presence in home automation and home security, which also presents security vulnerabilities. Specifically, the ease of unintentionally waking up a customer's Alexa device poses voice access risks, therefore threatening privacy as well as personal and financial data. Because of this ease of access, devices are susceptible to control by unauthorized parties. One example of this is found on page 11 of the case study. A young girl who was about 6 years old had triggered her Alexa to order several cookies and a dollhouse without the approval of her parents. Amazon actually has a voice profile feature in which users can train their Alexa to only respond to specific voices. However, this feature is unbeknownst to many users and does not actually work all the time. It is also only limited to certain features such as calling and messaging, flash briefing, shopping, and music. Additionally, hackers have also bypassed voice profiles by using a technique called voice squatting to trick users into granting them permission to access personal data or listen in on their conversations. This is done by using a skill with a name that sounds similar to an application and can cause significant security risks. Although Alexa provides Amazon with a plethora of data, Amazon's responsibilities with this data is not well defined. Currently, Amazon does not grant the government access to customer data as it claimed is a violation of free speech and privacy rights. However, currently Amazon is working on developing their capabilities to better detect the speaker's accent, ethnic origin, gender, and age. This data, coupled with demographic data and purchase history, will give Amazon more knowledge about people's lives than even the government has. The government may find a need for this information when it comes to criminal cases. However, this raises concerns about privacy as well as the question of if the government can find a way to force Amazon to give up their data. If the government rules a data request as relating to fighting terrorism, Amazon will have little leverage to fight back and refuse to give up the data. This means that overall it is hard for Amazon to guarantee customers complete privacy from the government or any other sources. Moving on from issues that involves the data that is collected from Alexa, there are also issues with the quality of Alexa and its ecosystem. By 2019, over 150 products had Alexa built in, and over 28,000 devices worked with Alexa. With all of these devices, there were concerns around the quality of Alexa itself being able to be compatible with everything. However, while the quality of Alexa on third-party devices is not guaranteed, Amazon believed that customers would not blame Alexa for an inferior product as long as there was a strong product in each product category. Furthermore, Alexa's ability to interact naturally with voice commands was limited. Users are often met with Alexa's response of, "Sorry, I don't know," when they give the same command using different wording. In 2018, a consulting firm performed a study asking Alexa 5,000 questions. Alexa recognized and attempted to answer half of them. Of the questions understood and answered, 82 were answered correctly. The AI was initially trained with American English, which has also posed quality issues concerning different accents. So oftentimes, Alexa has struggled to understand non-native English speakers. Language is also constantly evolving and includes implicit knowledge that is not easily codified. This makes interacting with Alexa difficult at times and is a big cause of concern to those that may have trouble interacting with her on a regular basis. Additionally, there are also lots of capabilities of Alexa that Amazon has yet to improve upon. For example, Alexa is unable to call 911 for emergency situations as it is unable to report real-time location data or receive a phone call. This is a feature that is wanted by a lot of users that utilize Alexa as a home security tool. However, implementing this 911 infrastructure would cost Amazon between 25 cents and $3 per call and is not feasible for Amazon at the moment. Lastly, Amazon has been hoping to expand upon Alexa's presence in the retail market. However, only about 2% of people with an Alexa device are using it for shopping purposes. And when they do purchase products, they are typically low-cost products in which only a small fraction of Amazon's revenue occurs. Voice shopping has been seen as a disruptive force for consumers as well as consumer brands. This is because with voice shopping, brands have no visibility as to whether consumers can purchase their items through voice shopping unless they are the first or second option listed by Alexa to purchase. And in this case, Amazon's own personal brand is often the first brand listed. Convincing customers to buy groceries online has also been difficult as customers can't select foods based on color, smell, or other sensory aspects. And currently, Amazon is also not using Alexa for any type of advertising. For example, 47% of smart speaker owners use their product for product research, 43% to create shopping lists, 32% for price comparisons, and 27% to check their deals and promotions. Here, Amazon does have the opportunity to charge brands to be featured in promoted search results or to offer targeted product suggestions based on users' past purchasing behavior. This could potentially encourage consumer brands and Alexa users to adapt to the improved features of Alexa and to utilize Alexa's voice shopping more often. Alexa also has the potential to replace retail sales representatives as the source of product recommendations. Implementing smart shelves in physical retail stores could enhance the shopping experience in stores while also enhancing the shopping experience online through Alexa Shopping. In the case of Bottle Genius, Alexa was able to recommend a product and light up the shelf of that product to customers in a store. This generated a 20% increase in sales and poses an opportunity for Alexa to take advantage of in the retail market.
Our SWOT analysis pretty much summarizes all of the internal and external environments mentioned and how these play into Amazon Alexa as a brand. Ultimately, Alexa has many strengths, especially its 360-degree view of consumers that no other competitor is able to replicate. With the many different product lines offered as well, like the Kids Edition and the Business Edition, Alexa is able to target different demographics and really expand its target market. Another huge advantage is the amount of devices within Alexa's ecosystem. Consumers love ease of use and compatibility, which Alexa is able to give them with the majority of their smart home products. Overall, Amazon is making money off of the purchase of the Alexa device itself, as well as purchases that are caused by the ease of use from ordering through said device. However, the privacy and security concerns of consumers are a huge weakness to Alexa and ultimately pose what we believe is Amazon's biggest challenge to date. Alexa's competition also shares these challenges. However, they currently have more market share, which puts Alexa at a slight disadvantage. Alexa can use these security concerns to its advantage, however, by distinguishing how its products are more secure and therefore better than the competing brands. There's also a ton of room to expand within the smart product industry, as that market is growing very quickly. With the little regulations that Amazon Alexa faces now, that Cassandra mentioned before, they can also use this to their advantage right now. However, this has the potential to change quickly with new rules and laws coming out constantly. That being said, as consumer privacy becomes a growing issue in the United States, Amazon may see many more regulations to come that will limit what they are able to do with consumer information and may put them in a risky place legally. After deciding the key challenge Amazon was facing was pertaining to data privacy and security concerns, we brainstormed three strategic alternatives to face this problem, keeping in mind the other issues faced as well. The first strategic alternative that we thought of was to increase Amazon's transparency with its customers, with the goal of encouraging and improving consumer acceptance while staying safe and avoiding any potential legal consequences. In the past year, Amazon has made it possible for Alexa users to view and delete their recording history within the Alexa app. We want to make this a known feature by displaying it in its own setting within the app so it's easy to find. Along with this, for each recording that is transmitted back to Amazon for review, Amazon needs to let the consumer know the purpose of this. For example, some recordings may say something like, used to improve Alexa's consumer personalization for you and your customer preferences. Not only this, but if that data is being sold to third parties, Amazon must say to which third party it is being sold to. Amazon also will need to make an easy to select option within the Alexa app, allowing consumers to opt out of having their recordings sent to Amazon for third party usage. This won't stop recordings entirely, just limit what they can be used for. Amazon also will be responsible for programming their Alexa to vocally say during setup that users may erase their stored data at the end of each day with a simple spoken command. Lastly, Amazon will add a small light right on the device that shows when Alexa is not just recording conversations, but transmitting that data back to its storage centers. This light should only be on when the blue light around Alexa, signifying that it is being spoken to, is also on. By implementing these many small, fairly easy changes, customers will be more aware of the security and privacy options, which will help ease worried consumers. Typically, with brands, an increase in transparency also leads to more trust with consumers and brand loyalty as well. It is also worth noting that although Amazon will offer features to erase data and turn off transmitting recorded data, it is fair to assume that many users, especially the younger generation, will not put in the extra effort to go through their app and make these changes. Also, by telling customers that their data is used to help Alexa learn their own personal preferences and work on vocal recognition, many consumers may purposefully choose to leave recording transmission on for this benefit. With this alternative, Amazon will still be able to record and transmit consumer data and use it for improving their company and their consumer experience. There are a few cons of this alternative, the biggest one being that if consumers erase their recordings daily and opt out of third-party usage, Alexa loses one of its primary functions of collecting and using personal data to Amazon's advantage. This would prevent Amazon from gaining their 360-degree view of each consumer, which is what makes them a strong competitor in the market, as no one else can replicate this. Alexa may also be restricted from advancing technologically because if recordings are not transmitted, then employees can't transcribe them and feed them into the AI in order to improve response to commands and speech recognition and enhance Alexa's learning and capabilities. However, overall, this strategy provides a huge benefit to Amazon in terms of pleasing customers and avoiding legal trouble while not incurring a huge cost to the company, which is why we chose this as a great recommendation. The second alternative that we came up with was a way to alleviate customer security concerns as well as improve the issues with language processing. We decided that upon the initial setup of an Alexa device, the consumer will be prompted to first choose to customize their wake command. Right now, the default command is Alexa, and consumers have the option to keep that or switch it to one of three different choices, which are Amazon, Echo, or Computer, which most consumers don't even know is available currently. However, these are mostly common terms within a modern household, so changing Alexa to computer or Amazon, for example, would most likely actually accidentally trigger Alexa to turn on and record more than usual. Amazon should change this so that users can create their own word or phrase, which means that you could make it something that you normally would not be saying randomly. Also, users will be prompted to create their own voice profiles right away, meaning they will train Alexa to only respond to their recognized voices. Right now, this is not a default setting, and most consumers are unaware of it, which poses a security risk as anyone can speak to Alexa and she will follow their orders. By implementing these changes, the risks of unintentionally awakening the device or allowing unrecognized voices to make commands are mitigated. This will cover a lot of consumer concerns relating to the privacy of each consumer's device. This will also help to improve language processing as Alexa will be trained to hear commands from the same few voices and get to understand and recognize the differences in each voice profile. However, while we expect language processing to definitely improve, natural language is complex, and despite the rules of grammar, natural speech is highly variable and nuanced. Word choice, tone, and rhythm must be interpreted, even though they can vary a great deal based on a speaker's upbringing and cultural background. It also evolves constantly and includes vast amounts of implicit knowledge that are not easily codified. Because of this, there is never a 100% guarantee that Alexa will always understand correctly. The threat of voice squatting, where users are tricked into granting others permission to access their data by using a skill with a name that sounds very similar to a legitimate app, is also still a possibility with these changes implemented. However, after discussing this alternative at hand, we also decided to add this to a recommendation because although it does make some physical changes to Alexa's programming, it works right alongside increasing transparency as well. Finally, as a group, we did talk about what would most likely be the best way to gain customer acceptance and definitely avoid regulations, which is just that recordings would never be transmitted to Amazon data storage centers. While we realize this is an extreme measure and we chose not to implement it, it was important to consider because Amazon could still profit off of the gained sales from an increase in Echo purchases, and it would fix the challenge that Amazon is facing. The pros and cons are fairly straightforward with this option. This is definitely the safest way to go about consumer data because although it would still be recorded by Alexa throughout the day, the recordings would never leave the device and therefore would never fall into the wrong hands after being transported around online. These recordings would also be erased daily, so if hackers ever even managed to get in, they would have very little information to grab. This would lead to a large increase in consumer acceptance as well as the growth of Alexa's market share. This is because, first of all, customers from competitors that have experienced hacking would switch over to Alexa due to the security factor and not having to worry about their data getting used maliciously again, since it won't be shared at all. Secondly, people who had originally refused to buy any product with a voice assistant due to security and privacy fears would be willing to purchase Alexa since they don't need to be worried about all of their private conversations being sent to Amazon. The cons, however, outweigh the pros entirely. First of all, Amazon would lose its competitive advantage as they wouldn't be able to learn anything about their consumers like their schedules, preferences, or what they're shopping for. And while Amazon would be selling more Echoes potentially, they would be losing out on large amounts of revenue. Shopping revenue would be weakened because they couldn't accurately make personalized product recommendations. We know from the case that Amazon purchases significantly increased with the purchase of an Alexa-enabled device. However, this would eliminate all of those online purchases. Also, potential advertising revenue would be gone, as Amazon couldn't sell third-party targeted ads without more knowledge about the consumer and their preferences. Aside from the loss of profits, Alexa wouldn't be given the opportunity to improve either. Losing all of its recordings and knowledge daily would mean that Alexa would never get to know and understand its consumer and therefore could struggle not only with recommending relevant information, but even with understanding and interpreting what the consumer is saying. Finally, without being able to transmit data, Alexa devices would fail to collaborate with other smart home products, which is a huge, growing market and one of the biggest functions of an Alexa-enabled device. Specifically, the Echo Plus that was created as a smart home hub, this alternative would completely eliminate the need for consumers to purchase that device. Overall, this option just negatively impacted Amazon way more than it would be worth, so we completely ruled it out. Overall, Amazon needs to improve the consumer acceptance of their Alexa products and preclude any government regulations, which is best done by becoming more transparent and implementing a few preventative safety features. While this may come with some costs to be implemented, ultimately more profits will be made as consumers move away from competition and Alexa gains a higher market share because it's seen as a safer and better voice assistant product and brand. Gaining this customer loyalty will allow Amazon to keep their competitive advantage and continue improving the customer experience, which they are known for.